Recently, I built in the MasterFrame 400 from Cooler Master, and that build was sick. An m-ATX case with huge GPU and CPU support, and a ton of ventilation, and a truly customizable interior, keeping our 9950X 3D and 5080 Astral well under control. While the MasterFrame 400 is considered a m-ATX case, it's still incredibly large. 45 liters to be exact, and I wanted to know just how much of this build would fit in the Ncase M3. If you're not familiar, the M3 is a 19-liter case made from CNC milled anodized aluminum. I have the greater M3 with a beautiful graded front panel for looks and airflow. One of my favorite cases of 2025. On paper, like the 400 mesh, the M3 supports m-ATX motherboards, huge tower cooler compatibility like the Noctua D15 G2 Chromax cooler, and the 5080 Astral fits relatively comfortable. We'll be transferring about 90% of the MasterFrame 400 build into the Ncase M3, which is 65% smaller, all while attempting to keep thermals and noise under control. A balancing act with 7 of our 140mm G2 Chromax case fans not making the cut. It hit to thermals and noise partially due to the lack of sound dampening on the M3. We could transfer the build directly over, but we're going to walk through the build process. First, we have the Ryzen 9 9950X 3D. A monster in both productivity and gaming, seeing a much better value proposition in productivity over gaming. When shopping for a motherboard, my checklist was m-ATX, minimal design, and still appealing. That's when I landed on the MSI Pro BA50MP motherboard. While not their highest spec board in MSI's m-ATX lineup, you get important features like 5GB LAN and plenty of rear I/O. Let's gently seat our 9950X 3D in the AM5 socket. I have a 64GB kit from G-Skill, the Ripjaws S5 with a clock speed of 6400 megatransfers, a true wallet killer in 2026. Being sure to place them in the second and fourth slot from the CPU. We have the Samsung 990 Pro, a 1TB drive running Gen 4 speeds. The heatsink is probably one of the easiest to install. Simply push the tab in, drop in the drive, and push it back down. It's a great time to install our AM5 mounted kit from the Noctua D15 G2 Chromax cooler, with 4 standoffs and the bracket set to the 7mm offset option, optimizing the cooler's effectiveness on AM5 CPUs. Our motherboard is complete. The M3 is the best overall case to buy in 2026, in my opinion, especially if you're looking to get great hardware compatibility, including top-notch build quality for the money, and subjectively, a far superior design compared to other cases in its size and price class. The building process is simple. The entire case centers around the backplate. We've already installed the standoffs, attached the rear panel to the backplate with 3 countersunk M3 screws. We can now drop in the motherboard and fasten it down with the flathead motherboard screws. Now we can lower our CPU cooler down, securing the cooler with 2 captive screws near the cold plate. Now attach the 2 NF-A14 G2 rounded fans set to exhaust. Our 5080 Astral is gorgeous, and at 361mm long and 4 slots thick, it takes up nearly 30% of the horizontal space in the M3. Fasten the GPU down with the rear GPU bracket. This is also when we can install the front panel with 3 countersunk screws. We're using the same SFXL PSU, the ASUS low-key 750W unit. Since we lose the option to mount the PSU along the back plate with the m-ATX motherboard, I mount it to the front panel instead, pulling in fresh air from inside the case and out the top panel. Cable routing at the front is a little tight. You definitely have more space to work with the SFX PSU. We're using the transparent silver wire cables from My DIY, with the same measurements as before. Be sure to route your power adapter, which uses 2 more countersunk screws. The M3 supports a rear 120mm fan, which we set to exhaust to match the D15 G2's airflow pathway, pushing that warm air from the front of the case to the rear. Our bottom panel goes next with the 3D printed 15mm case feet. Using 10mm countersunk screws, the PSU placement does restrict us to a single 120mm fan on the side bracket, going from 8 case fans to just 2. It fits right between the PSU and air cooler, set to intake, feeding fresh air to the D15 G2 and low-key PSU. Once everything is fastened down, we insert the side and top panels, and the build is complete. It's really hard to imagine you can take this massive 45-liter build and compress it into a 19-liter M3. Just a testament to how flexible the M3 is. In Cyberpunk 2077, in all resolutions, the CPU thermals take a hit. 5 to 9 degrees warmer over the 400 mesh. But remember, we lost 7 140mm fans in the process. And to be fair, 75 degrees isn't that bad at all. especially in 1080p, but nowhere near as comfortable as before. By applying a GPU undervolt, we were able to bring the thermals down a bit, capping the 5080 to 900 millivolts at 2.5 GHz. Now the cooler isn't intaking as much warm air from the GPU, now 4 to 5 degrees higher than the 400 mesh and 1 to 2 degrees lower than stock. GPU temps in Cyberpunk are less affected overall. The Astral's cooler is really overkill, sitting about 1 to 2 degrees warmer than the 400 mesh, and with that GPU undervolt, thermals beat out all other results, seeing as low as 51 degrees in 1080p and 8 to 11 degrees warmer than all other results. We do see some performance loss in all three resolutions, the highest being 2% in 4K. The undervolt does sacrifice even more performance, seeing as much as 12% in 1440p, 10% in 1080p, and 8% in 4K. In Cinebench R26, we see a minor temperature penalty of 2 degrees. The D15 G2 is a really impressive cooler, and performs well when backed into a corner. In Firmark, the 9950X3D gets 5 degrees warmer, while the 5080 sees a 2 degree penalty, still very comfortable in my opinion. Noise is also decent. At idle, we see 38 decibels. We see 44 decibels on the decibel meter from a few inches away in Cyberpunk 2077. I must say, I'm extremely impressed by the M3. We transplanted 90% of our components and the thermals are still pretty good, despite being warmer across the board. Our new build is incredibly dense and well optimized to handle powerful hardware. Both cases support inverted configurations, both accept m-ATX motherboards, both accept ATX PSUs. However, the 400 mesh does allow for longer PSUs with less compromise, like the required ATX bracket for the M3, which is sold separately. I believe the MasterFrame 400 is a great case. It allows for extra headroom and thermals for hardware flexibility, but I prefer the smaller, denser M3 all day long. Currently, the MasterFrame comes in two colors, black and silver. The greater M3 only comes in one color, and that's silver with black panels. But the rounded M3 only comes in black. Unfortunately, the MasterFrame 400 mesh is hard to find in stores currently, but the M3 can be found at Ncase.com for $235 US, not counting shipping or tariffs. What do you think of the MasterFrame 400 and the Ncase M3? Do you prefer a slightly bigger case, or is small form factor your thing? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you wish to support us further, please feel free to use the affiliate links down in the description. That's all I have for you today. See you next time.